Fine, let's jump into the topic. So yesterday we are mostly discussing about the immutability concept, right? So I hope everyone understood those topics. So now, yeah. So today's plan is to go through the Python data types. So I will be giving a brief about each and every data type, and then we are going to see a topic called as typecasting. So can someone confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, Santosh. Indeed.
Okay, cool. So fine. As I said yesterday, we are having like 14 data types, right? 14 data types in Python, as you can see over here. So what is the need for all these different data types is so we can understand the int. So in some situations we want the data to be integer. In some situations we want the data to be string. That we know, that is obvious. But if you go deeper, there are situations where we need to give input in different ways, where we want the input to be changeable, where we don't want the input to be unchangeable, and where we want the input to be combined with another input. So there are different types of situations we come across. So keeping all that in mind, so the people who has invented Python, they have included these many different types of data types, right? So in this, even though we are having 14, so they're like different categories. Among these, some are mutable, okay, some are immutable, right? Immutable, mutable, actually we discussed, right? So some are once you create a value, okay, in a particular memory location, so we can't change it, so that is immutability. Okay, if you're able to change, that is mutable. So okay, few of them are mutable and some of them are immutable. Apart from that we also have some fundamental data types, okay, in Python. So in Python, among all these what do I say, data types, so we have some extremely fundamental data types which we will be considering as string, int, float, complex, string. Okay, so the majorly these are considered as the fundamental data types in Python. Okay, so fine, so we are going to see about each and every data type now, and then first I will try to give you a brief like what does each data type looks like. Okay, so let's start that, and you can just stop me like wherever you're not able to understand, and we can take the questions. So I think you might be already, most of you are might be familiar with this, but the idea is to just give you a brief about this. Then once this is done, right, we'll be seeing like how to convert from one data type to another data type, so that we are little comfortable with the data type concept. After that, we are going to go into deep into each of these data types, so that with these three steps you will be comfortable with all these data types. Then you can understand whenever if somebody is giving, just by if somebody is giving something like this, you will understand what is this. If somebody is giving something like this, you will understand what is this. If somebody is giving in some other form, if they're simply saying true, what does that mean? So okay, everything these will, you will be able to understand once we are done with these 14 data types. Okay, so as I said, data types as a fundamental concept for any programming language. So yeah, so let's start. So as you can see, now initially you are having int, right? So integer, unlike other programming languages, right? So Python has only simply int. I think in C, if I am right, so in C we have int, long int. Am I right, Siddhisha? Because you guys are in currently studying, right? మీకు కాలేజ్లో ఈ సి సి చెప్తారా?
ఎస్ సార్ చెప్తారు.
యా, దాంట్లో ఇంట్ కాకుండా వి ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ ఐ థింక్ లాంగ్ ఇంట్, స్మాల్ ఇంట్ కూడా ఉంటాయా? నాకు ఎగ్జాక్ట్ గుర్తులేదు.
Yeah, Santosh. Int, long, double,
యా,
float.
okay, yeah. So for different length of the input, we are using different data types, right? But in Python, right, there is no need for that. Only single int can handle almost like any length of the integer. Okay, and it fundamentally understands it. So when I'm saying x equal to, as I said, x equal to some 100, I don't need to say that x is a int. Okay, the system will automatically understand how we have seen yesterday. Just if you say type of x, okay, it is int. Okay, so here I would like to mention one important point which we are going to discuss in detail in coming session. So now in Python, everything is considered as an object. Okay, everything you write, that will be considered as an object. So now when there is an object, obviously that should belong to some class. Okay, so this will be under the oops concept, but just to have a touch of it. So when everything will be considered object, that means what, when I'm creating 100, so that will be an object. If it is an object, but what is a class? Because any object should belong to some class. Okay, from class only we will have different objects. So now to know the class of this object, you need to give type. Okay, that is int. Okay, so now int is the class. Okay, int is the class. Inside that you are creating an object called as 100. Okay, so what all things you can that are applicable for this int class, okay, whether that additions, etc., everything. Because see, this is different class, this is different class. Okay, if you are creating an object in this class, you can do what all that could be done for this class. Okay, for example, a list is a particular class. Okay, okay, that is a data type. Okay, but initially it is fundamentally it is a class. Okay, and if you are creating an object, that means what, if you are simply saying 1 2 3, okay, this is a list. That means what, we are creating an object for this list. So once you created this, which is belonging to this list class, okay, what all methods, what all functions that are available for list as a class, all that you can apply for this object, because this object is coming from this applicable to this class, list class. So what all functions list is having, okay, we'll be seeing all those are applicable for this. Similarly, if you create a tuple object, what all that are applicable for tuple can be used for this. But the difference is there might be some a specific function, okay, which is applicable for only tuple object. Okay, but you may not use it for list object, and something which can be used only for list object, you might not use it for tuple object. Okay, that we are going to see. Okay, that we are going to see, then you will understand the difference. But as of now, just understand everything in Python is an object. Okay, when you're creating something, obviously that should belong to some type, some class, which you will know by like typing the type. So then whatever you are going to see here, this is actually the class of the particular object you are trying to create. Okay, so let's make sure that you understand this. Now coming to this, we are having int x equal to 100. Okay, type of int equal to 100. So int fundamentally can handle like any sort of length of numbers, I would say. So after that, what we are going to have here is so in int we have like different forms. I think you have decimal form, binary form, octal. Okay, that's fine. So you don't need to like go that deep. Okay, but after that we are having float. So now coming to float, anything you give in decimal form, okay, f equal to, let's say, some 100.234, it will automatically be considered as a float, and you can just see it by f. Okay, so any decimal value will all automatically considered as a float, you don't need to specifically mention. Okay, and after that you have something called as complex, right? So complex is something like if you say like 4 plus, okay, some c equal to 4 plus 8j. Okay, and if you see type of c, so it's complex. Okay, so you don't need to specifically mention, so it will understand by default, right? So the way how you are giving the value is itself telling the Python interpreter what type of data type you are trying to create over here. Okay, so I think these are like simple data types which we are seeing. But now next we have okay, int, float, complex, yeah, bool. Next you have something called as bool. So bool is a data type, so where it takes only two values which are either true or false, boolean numbers, right? So it is going to take either true or false, right? So now if I say false, So now if I type type of false, now what is the data type I will get? Anyone?
Will that be a string?
But first
One-
we need to put it
created
into
false variable, sir.
quotes, right? Sorry.
We not created a false variable, no, sir. Okay,
Uh,
okay, boolean.
Yeah, we should get bool, right? But if you see, we got int.
that is not capital F, right?
Case, sir.
Correct, exactly. So as I said, when I'm saying it is false, so you should be cautious that it should capital F. Okay, so capital F only when you do capital F and capital T, so that will be considered as Boolean values, right? So any other value, see, but false gave you some int because I think yesterday we created some false variable, I believe. Okay, somewhere in the data type you will have some false. Okay, but if you see true is not defined. Okay, that's why it's going to give error. So Boolean, you need to consider Boolean is going to take two values. Okay, that is true and false. So if you see capital T and capital F, so these are the values. Clear? Now one more important thing in Python is by default true is always considered as 1, false is always considered as 0. Okay, Python ultimately in the background everything is binary, everything is numbers. For computers it cannot understand any character at all, right? So coming to Boolean, true is always considered as 1, false is always considered as 0. For example, if I say true, okay, plus true, see I got 2. I did not give any numbers, but you are going to get 2 because true is always 1, false is 0. Okay, is it clear? Guys, you are able to understand?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So now, but this Boolean, you will come across this Boolean, right? Many times, you will write like lot of conditions you will write in programming language, and to know whether your condition is true or false. So the bool comes into picture. For example, if I take simple example, a equal to 10, okay, and b equal to 20. Now I am saying a is less than b. Okay, the value is true. So this is the Boolean value you are going to get. If I say some a is greater than b, so false. So that is a Boolean, right? So Boolean is just true and false is the Boolean, and true is always 1 and false is always 0. Okay, so that is one more simple data type. So I think int, float, complex, bool. Next comes a string. Okay, string is actually a very important data type, I would say, and it's also very interesting data type where you can see a lot of values. In I think tomorrow or next session when we are discussing each of this data type specifically, so I think we can discuss a lot of things about string, and you will also be surprised because you can do a lot of things with string. But now just to give an overview, so as we discussed yesterday, anything you put in quotes, okay, anything you put in quotes is considered as a string. Okay, and if I do type of S, it is string. So you can put characters, you can put integer, you can put float, anything, it doesn't matter. As long as it is in quotes, single quote or double quote, that will be simply considered as string. Okay, and next you have something called as slicing in string. Okay, just to discuss the, string, I will also tell you know the slicing of string. Okay, slicing is almost applicable to most of the data types. For example, here when I'm saying if I say for example meet AI 24, if this is my string and if I'm printing this, slicing is just to take a few characters. Okay, but before that, fundamentally most important point is, indexing in Python will always start from 0. Okay, This is extremely important point, and I think once you start working on Python, right, you will come across this every day. There will not be any day without you don't come across indexing. So indexing in Python will always start from 0, okay, and will end from whatever you are giving that value -1, end -1. Okay, so for example, slicing, if I say take from start like 4, see, start in the sense, if you don't give anything, it will start from 0. Okay, fine. So I think there are two different concepts. Let's not get confused. So there are like indexing. Okay, next one is slicing. Now indexing, the index of every value, let's say as I said, like if you're having a simple word called as data, okay, the first character will be considered as 0. This is 1. Okay, this is 2, this is 3. This is indexing. So indexing will always start from 0. Clear? Now coming to slicing, if you want to slice this and take only a substring from this, you can mention any starting with any index. Okay, you can say start from 0, take till 2, or start from 1, take till 3, anything. So now when you give this way, slicing will always consider this. The start is the actual start, whatever you are giving here, but end is not the end. It will be end -1. Okay, start will always start. So it will take if you give 1 to 3, it will start from 1, take till 2, because 3 minus 1 is 2. 1 to 2, whatever characters you are getting, you are going to take. Here start from 0, but end -1, 2 minus 1, 1. Okay, this is slicing. Indexing is just like it will index, it will give each a integer value for each and every character that is going to start with 0 for any input you are going to give. This applies to even list also, when we are going to just discuss list. So even in list also, if you're having this way, this will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2. Okay, so this is indexing and this is a slicing. Slicing will always start from starting value till end -1. Always this will be end -1 will be always in Python. So now let's go back and see. This is the one. So if I say s of 0, you got m. Okay, you got m, right? So in Python you can also print for I in s, print I. Okay, see what, see the way, actually is my screen visible clearly, or shall I just zoom it a bit?
Visible. Mine.
No, we
Okay,
can see it, man.
okay, you can see, because in the yesterday recording I felt it's a bit small, but if you're okay, yeah, I will put it as 100. Okay, cool. So now if you see what I'm doing, s is meet AI 24. Now when I'm doing for I in s, print I. Okay, this is a looping concept which we're going to discuss, but just to tell you, if you want to print each and every character from this particular string, you can just loop through string, okay, and print each of the every character. But here there is very one important thing which you need to understand here is, for I in s, print I, there is s. What is s? S is defined over here, but what is I? From where we are getting I? We never defined I, but still how we are going to use. That is one of the unique property over here in Python. When we are looping through an iterator, okay, when because this is also called as iterator, because you can iterate through each and every character. Okay, for example, let's take string. When we are looping through this particular string, this value, right, you don't need to specifically define a variable. Okay, you can just use a dummy temporary variable, anything. You can, in this place you can use anything. Usually they will use I. Okay, so when you're saying for I in s, that means for each character in s, come inside, print that I, whatever you're using I, print I. Okay, so as I said, this is very unique property. I'm not sure like in other programming languages, but in Python it will allow you, when you are looping, right, even if you don't create this particular variable I, we never defined I, but still you can use it just in this looping purpose. In outside that, it might not work. You need to specifically mention I to use it. But when you are looping here, right? So you can just start with for I in S, which internally means that for every character in S, come inside, and what you're doing, you're just printing S. You can do anything here. Once you come inside this, you are having I. Okay, with that I you can do anything. You will add, you will subtract, anything you can do. But I am simply printing the I as of now to show you. Okay, so this is just a small for concept. So but we'll be seeing this in detail in looping, but I just want to show you. If you want to print every character in a string, you can just loop through it and you can print it this way. And now after that, you are also, you can also see what is S of 0. Okay, S of 0 is M. Okay, and like that S of 1 is E. So now if you want to know index of each and every value over here, right? So you need to have something called as range. Okay, so range is another data type over here. Okay, so which we'll be seeing. But now see, for example, if I do for I in range of length of S. Okay. If I print I, see what all you are getting: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now length, okay, I did not tell you length, right? So length is simple, as the name suggests, it will give you the length of any given string you are giving. So S is this one. So if you do length of S, it will give you the complete length of each character, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're like 10 characters, as you can see. Along with space is also one character. Okay, so 10 characters we are having, that you will get by length. Now if I want to print each and every character, what I'm doing, I'm just simply looping through it and printing. Okay, but if I want to find out the index, okay, if I want to find out the index of each and everything, what you need to do, you need to find out the length of this, and then you need to print out the each and every index. How you are going to print? Using the range function. So range is one of the data type. What it will going to give you here is, it will just print out the integers from the value you have specified. For example, if I say for I in range of 10, okay, then what I'm doing, print I. So when I say range of 10, that means, okay, when someone says range of 10s, that means you should start from 0. If you don't specify anything, starting value, that should be 0, and end will be what, 10 minus 1. It will be 0 minus 9. So in other words, print every time it, this range of 10 is 0 to 9. So every time it comes inside, it will print one value from each. So first 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So if we give 11, it will print from 0 to 10. But if I give the starting, I don't want it to start from 0. I want to start it from, let's say, 2. Then you give by default, then you give intentionally 2 and 11. Then it will print from starting with 2, ending with 10. Okay. For example, if I give from 4 to 8, what it will print?
7.
4 to 7.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if I print, let's say 4 to 5, what it will print?
Only 4.
Only 4.
Right. Okay. So range will do that. Now, I hope you understood range. Okay. It just starting index, and if I don't give anything, by default 0, so it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's cool. Now what I'm doing, just to know the index of each and every value of this is, I am just, but for range you should give only integer. Okay, always remember, for range you need to give integer. If you give some string, it fails. Okay, So this cannot be interpreted as integer. Okay, for range, you should always give integer. So I'm giving some 5, as you see, we got this value. Now I'm using the length of the our string s. Okay, that is what is the length of the string? 10. Then I am giving that 10 as an integer. Okay, now length is 10. So I'm directly using that length of s, putting over here. So this value will be replaced by 10. Now this is indirectly writing as range of 10. Now it is going to loop through for I in range of 10, print all the indexes. So it is printing. But to know which index is pointing to which one, so you can just write s of I. Okay. So you are going to get, because if you understand what's happening, so we are having the string is meet. For example, let's just take this 4 characters. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the indexes. How we are going to get the indexes? Indexes are the integer values. To get the indexes, we are using the length. This will be replaced as 10. For I in range of 10, you are coming inside. This I value is coming from this I value. What is that? It will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. So that is printing this one. That's fine. But to also know what is a corresponding character, you can simply do s of I, right? Because what is s of I? To get the character at a particular index, what we are doing, s of 0 is m, right? This one, this is when s is meet, s of 0 will be m. This is s of 1, s of 2, s of 3, right? So this 0, 1, 2, 3, you are already getting from the range value. You are looping through the range value I, 0, 1, 2, 3. You can just use s of s, inside that you are giving I, right? So every time what it is doing actually, so this will be for the first time, it will be 0 comma s of 0, because same I you are putting here. Next 1 comma s of 1, like that it is 2 comma s of 2. So 0, 1, 2 is printing. Now s of 0 is what? The moment it sees s of 0, now it will go and see what is s. S is a string defined. In that, I should take 0th index, take m, print m. Next s of 1, take the second index, take the third index. So that's how it is printing MEET. So your first thing is you are getting the index using the range function by using the length of this particular arrays, and second thing is you are accessing the character by index. Okay, this is to find out the character at a given index. Okay, is this clear? Can you get a yes or something?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, cool. So then fine, so there are like a lot more things to discuss on string, but I think today's goal is to brief about all the data types, right? So I will go switch to other data types, but when it comes to string, we will take a day to discuss all the things that are like comfortable with the string. Okay, so mostly you can understand the string, it will support indexing and okay, but see, one more thing is there are only few data types which supports indexing. For example, if you see, you are having, if I give I equal to, as I said, s equal to data, and if I say s of 0, it is d you are getting. But if I give I equal to 100, if I say I of 0, it is not, because integer are not iterable or subscriptable. You cannot or indexable. Integers don't work. Indexing don't work for integers. Okay, the complete is 100. You cannot take one indexing one particular character from this. Okay, so there are some data types wherever you can iterate, wherever you can iterate, only there these values will work. And if you know whether it is iterable or not, you can check like this, or you can just try to print it for I in okay. So this is if I give it as some x, okay, for I in okay, x print I. See, integer is not iterable, it is saying. Okay, because you cannot iterate and take one character at a time. You cannot do that. But if I just put it in quotes, that will be considered as a string, and obviously you will get 100. Okay, but this 100 are not in, one is not the integer. 0 is not the integer. It will treat it as a just a string. Okay, we will see. We'll see that. Okay, but now s equal to, yeah. So what does that mean? So for example, if you see x equal to 1, type of x is integer. Now y equal to quotes 1, type of y is string. Are you able to see these two? Both are 1, but this is integer, this is string. But how does that make a difference? When you might think, how does it will make a difference when both are 1? This will make a difference because, for example, if you see, when everything works on data types actually, because it is not actually what we are seeing, but it is how that Python is understanding it. Now Python is treating it as 1. That means integer, it is treating it as integer. The moment it is considering it as integer, you can do all integer related functions on it. That means what? I'll do x plus 10. It will give you 11 because x, okay, or for example, I will put it in new cell. Okay, I'll do x plus 10. You got 11. Why? Because x is 1, but that 1 is integer type. So 1 plus 10 is 11. That's fine. But now if you see, y is also 1, but it is a string because you are putting it in the code. This one is different from this one, how the Python is understanding. This one is considering as, Python is considering it as string. Okay, the moment when it is saying string, you cannot do normal integer operations on it. For example, if you see, this is y, right? Now if I try to do y plus 10, it is seeing error. You got it? Because y is not the one which you are seeing. It is a string one. String, the moment it is string, it is just a character. Okay, when you're putting something in quotes, even though whatever you put it, you put integer, you put float, everything you put in inside quotes, that is just a character to Python. It will not give actual number importance, the actual mathematical number integer importance. It is not going to give this one. It will just consider it as string. It is like, let's say apple. Okay, whether it is some string. Now when you're saying apple plus 10, that does not make any sense, right? So it cannot add, you cannot add apple. You can say apple plus apple can be 2 apple, mango plus mango can be 2 mango, but what is apple plus 10 or mango minus 100? That does not make any sense because you cannot add string and integer. So that's the reason, as you can see, when you are giving y plus 10, it will give you an error. It is saying you cannot concatenate string to you can only concatenate string to string. You can only string to string, but not integer. Okay, so now 10 is an integer over here, 10 is an integer over here, so that's why you cannot concatenate these two. Okay, so it's always important because yeah, it's always important to understand the data type. Sometimes if you think that something is not working, you just you just do type of that variable, you just do type of that y or x. Once you know the data type, then you will have a more knowledge like why it is not working or what operations you are able to get. Okay, so
String into integer, then we can add. We can convert string into integer, then we can add, sir, that one.
yes, correct. Yeah, correct. That is there. If you want to convert, then that's a different story. Yeah, that is the typecasting what we're going to discuss. Okay, but I'm saying just a string, just a string you are having. So if I'm saying apple, right? Now, how can you convert this into integer and add to 10? Tell me.
X is equal to int of y.
Okay, int of y. Okay, perfect. Int of y.
I have to declare another variable, x is equal to int of y.
Okay, x equal to int of y.
Print,
Okay, see, I got some error.
we have to print
Okay, I should print x. You're saying?
x plus
Okay.
x
Yeah.
plus any variables.
But what is x? X is int of y.
No, so y plus.
Okay, y plus.
If you give any string or integer, then we
But
can
what
add.
is y?
Y is a string.
Y is apple, right?
Yes.
So you are saying to convert this into integer first.
Yes, sir.
But how you can convert apple to integer?
If we give number means we can convert it to
That's
the
what.
string.
Correct. So yeah, only when the integer is having integer, you can convert that to a you can convert this particular string to integer. But if you're having character inside this string, you cannot convert, right?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
No, no, that's fine. So I'm just trying to understand. So what you said is correct, that what we are going to discuss. So what you said is correct. So you are trying to say, if you have a number over here, if you want to convert that into int, you can just put int like this, which is also called as typecasting. That is perfect. But just to add one more caution over here, that is possible only when the whatever you're having inside the quotes is an integer. That is possible. But if you're having some character, let's say data, that is not going to work. Okay. Yeah. But thanks for this point. So this is regarding the data types. I hope you are following. So after that, after the string, right? This, when we are discussing strings, right, we'll discuss like adding string, not adding strings, different things we will discuss. Next, coming to bytes. Okay, so now coming to bytes. So there are like one concept related to byte, and as you can see, byte and byte array, right, like both are almost same. So but what first discuss like what is bytes. So now bytes is a data type. It is just like an array, but the only difference here is it is the characters allowed for the bytes are from 0 to 256. Okay. For example, if you say, for example, if you see x equal to some 11, 22, 33, 44. Okay. And if you say b equal to bytes of x, okay, it will be written in some like binary format. Okay. So but still you can take, you can index it. B of 0 is 11. Okay, we are not going to use bytes much, but just because we need to discuss like every data type I am explaining you. But whatever you are seeing here, so that's in the hexagonal or binary format which the system understands. But if you forget about this, okay, but whatever you are giving b, okay, you can also index it through indexing. B of 0 will be 11, b of 2 1 is 22, 33, 44. But the only condition they have put over here is you know, it will accept values only till 256. Okay, but if I give some 300, the byte, it will say byte must be in range between 0 to 256. Okay, so in what all your operations we are going to do with bytes, so that are allowed only till 0 to 256. Okay, so I did not see using bytes very much in my practical use, but yeah, you should know if someone asks you. Second thing is byte array. Byte array is exactly same as bytes, but the only difference is you can modify byte array, but you cannot modify byte. Okay, so see, I'll use the same thing over here. Okay, you cannot use the 300, right? Yeah, I will use some y. Okay, but here this is byte array. Sorry, y. Oh, 300. But byte array also range is 200. So byte and byte array are exactly the same, but as I said, you byte is immutable. Byte array is mutable. For example, if I try to you know, add some value to byte, x dot append some 55. Okay, so it is not allowing us to add, but I think for byte array, I think you can add it. For example, let's say you take y of, let's do it this way. So what will be like in, someone say what will be x of 3?
44.
Right. So x of 3 is 44. So now x of 3 is 44. Now if I try to replace it with some 100, okay, see, it is saying byte does not support item assignment. Okay, so you can assign the value this way. So this is the index, x of 3 is index because this is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So x of 3 is 44. Now, if you want to add some value, let's try with string first. Okay, let's try to s equal to some string data. Now, what will be s of 0? S of 0 is d. Okay, now let's see if s of 0, if I give as f. See, string does not support int assignment. Okay, so there will be some data types. For example, list. List will support the data assignment because list is mutable. Okay, so string is an immutable data type. So you cannot change the value once it is declared. Similarly, coming to bytes, byte is also same. So when you are giving this value and you can access, let's say x of 3 is 44, right? What is x of 3? X of 3 is 44. Now I want to change that to 100. It will not allow us. It will give you error because byte is an immutable. Bytes is an immutable. You cannot change it. Similarly, if you see byte array is also same thing. But now if I say y of 3, y of 3 is will also be 44. But if I say,
Santosh, sorry to interrupt you, but yesterday you told byte array is immutable, but byte is mutable, right?
did I say that? If I said that, then that is wrong. Sorry for that. But
So,
byte is so the for sure bytes is immutable. Byte array is mutable.
okay. Yeah, yesterday you said byte array in the reverse way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no issues. Yeah.
So as you can see, now y of 3, I'm assigning a value of 100. It is not giving me any error. Okay, and if you type y of 3, you got 100. Okay, so earlier, just to repeat, x is this. I'm trying to assign a value. This is how you're assigning a value. Equal to assigning a value, it is not allowing me to do. But when I do this y of 3, it is allowing me. And once this is done, this 44 will be replaced with 100. How I will know? You will just now, if you access y of 3, you will get this. To make it very clear, so I will just print y of 3 44. Now I will assign 100. Now again I will type y of 3 100. Okay, so initially y of 3 is 44, next value is assigned, next y of 3 is 100. So now 11 23 33 100 is there. So from this it is very clear, byte array you are able to change it, so this is mutable, and byte you cannot change it, so this is immutable. Okay, so I think this is clear. So byte array we don't use this much, but just range. So as I said, range is like to loop through particular range of numbers. Okay, we have just discussed it. For I in range of any value 100 also you can give, right? You can give any value 100. Okay, and then you can just print that. And this is interesting because when you are initially studying, right, so learning Python, you can do multiple things with range. You just loop it, and people usually create tables. You can create all the tables, mathematical tables, using that. Because see, once you're looping through 10, so what I said, for I in range of 10 means what? It will consider range of 10. That means what? From what will the range? It will
From
start
0 to 9.
0 to 9. So that means every time it is going inside, it is going to take one value from here, initially 1 2 like that. Okay, that means, see, that means you have a control on each and every character at time, right? So that means what? Once you are having this print I, every time you are having this print. So, and I also said you don't need to just print I, you can do anything. The moment when it comes inside for the first time, you are having 0 in your hand, right? So when you are having 0, you do anything with that 0, you add with hundreds. Okay, I of 100, that means what? Initially it will be 0 with 100, next it will be 1 plus 100. Okay, now what we are getting? 101, right? So like that, for example, if you want to print a 5 table, right? So what's that? It's just into 5 into 5, you got 5 table. And you can just put a string over here, right? So you can write 5 cross I, yeah, you got this 5, right? And you can put some equal to, see, done. We got complete table. You can write right? Just with few lines of code, you can write complete table and you can iterate through anything. So if you want, let's say 9 table, I want it from not 10, but I can go for 50, right? So done. No, sorry, this should be 9. There you go. So 9 table, right, from 9 from 9 to 1, 9 to 50. You just create, you can just create, and if you can just write it small, very minute application can be designed just as an idea to create a tables. You can just loop through these numbers, right, from 1 to 10 or 20, and you can have the tables generated like this. Okay, so that is importance of range, and range is extremely useful, I'm telling you, because most of the time, if you're having 100 in a data frame, just to give you a practical touch, in a data frame, you will have like thousands of records, right? So you will not work on all these thousands of record at a time. Most of the time, you will take each record. You will take each record. ఒక్కొక్క record తీసుకొని we will work it, right? So అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తామంటే when you are using range, so first it will take one record. It's just like iterating through everything, right? Whatever you give, you will take. So just like how you use length use చేసినాం కదా, length of s అని సేమ్ అలానే మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే you will take one record. Instead of doing this operation, we will do some other operation related to our project. You will check whether there are any integers, whether you are having any null values, whether it is having any zero error, something like that. Then we will pass to the next. You will take one more record, do some operations, do this. So the importance here is when you're looping using range, you will get control of each and every record in each loop. Once you get control over that, inside this, you can do any operation you want, just like how we are printing the tables over here. Okay. So that is the importance of range. Next, you are seeing few things called as these 4 data types, which are like extremely important data types. And I would just ask, like, Megan and Sil, can we extend for 5 minutes more, like 7:35? Is it fine? Because if I start, I just want to complete these 4. I don't want to break it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right? Yeah,
Yes,
but pay attention. If it is difficult, you can say no, but don't be in a hurry, because just we need to understand these 4. Okay, I'll just give you a brief. Tomorrow we will go into deep. But see, all the work you are going to do, okay, so will be mostly you will touch every day integer, string, float, not float, not complex, a bit of bool, not byte, byte, range also. But this list, tuple, set, frozen, not frozen set, okay, list, tuple, set, and dictionary, these are extremely important. And in that, list and dictionary are extremely important, and most of the work. So even in my previous project also, if you should be pro, I think in dictionary and list, because if you know dictionary, you have something data type, something called as JSON. Most of the projects, okay, most of the projects, they accept the input data in JSON format. Okay, first they should accept, because project, you will have multiple like departments or teams, right? So they need to interact with each other, so they need to pass data from one another. So mostly they will pass it JSON, because it is light and it is flexible, and you can usually use it in different shapes and forms. So that's the reason they use JSON. Now JSON is more or less similar as dict. If you know dict, you will know JSON. Okay, so that is concept over here. But now if you see list, okay, let me just give you brief about list. Now list is one of the data type in Python, and the way how you're going to define list is very simple. So it is all how you're going to define, that's it. If you're putting in quotes, that is becoming string, right? In list, it's extremely simple. You put it in, I think you already know, but just mentioning, put it in square brackets, write anything, 11, 22, 33. The moment when you see the square brackets, it will clearly understand that type is list. Okay, and that's it. And as I said, list is changeable. You can change the values. That means L of 0, you will get 11. Now if I print, if I want it to be 100, that is acceptable. This is done. It did not give any error. Now if I print L, oh sorry, if I print L, it gave me 100. L is replaced with 100 because index 0, I am assigning a value 100. Okay, list is mutable, right? So after that, the only very simple. So you need to just put in square brackets. Everything you put in square brackets, this is done. And the important point here is, the moment when you create list, okay, this object is a object of list. List is a class, as I just mentioned in the starting of this today's session, and this is the object. Okay, now the object will have a right to use all the functions that are available in this list class. Now, what are the functions that are available in list class? There are many functions which we are going to see, like add, pop, delete, okay, append, extend. There are a lot of set of functions which are available for list. All those you can definitely use for this object. What is object 11, 22, 33, as long as this is declared as a list. Okay, so that is a basic thing you are doing, but there are like few specific details which we are going to discuss once we discuss the list in interest of time. So next is tuple. Okay, tuple is also exactly the same, but the only difference is the way how you are going to define tuple. You need to put in what is a parenthesis. Yeah, parenthesis 11, 22, 33. Now if you say the type of tuple, type of t, okay, that is tuple. Okay, you don't need to specify anything. The way, if you put square brackets, it will definitely take it as list. If you give parentheses, it is automatically take as tuple. But the very important thing is, among these four, tuple is immutable. Okay, this is very important concept. Tuple is immutable. Once you define tuple, you cannot change it, just like string and other immutable concepts. But tuple is, but for example, if you see a t of 0, what is t of 0? 11. Now if I try to assign some value 100, it will not allow. Tuple does not support item assignment because tuple is a immutable. Okay, you cannot change the values inside a tuple once it is declared. Okay, so tuple is immutable. Okay, list is mutable. Fine. So after that, set is very interesting and funny data type, because if you see set, okay, don't worry, as I said, I'm just giving you brief, I'm just giving you introduction to this. We will see many examples for on each data type going forward. So but set is the way how you are going to define set is, you need to open curly braces, use some 11, 23, 33, 44. Sorry. Okay, now if you print s, okay, so that is how you are going to get. But the interesting thing about set is, it does not have any stability. Okay, but because see what I declared 33, 66, 29, 55. What I'm getting 29, 33, 55, 66, because set, the order is not in your control. Okay, set is not ordered. To tell you professionally, set is not ordered. That means whatever the value will be exactly the same, but in what order it is going to give you, you don't know, right? So it will give you random order, right? So for example, even if you print for I in S, okay, I'm going to print S. Okay, oh sorry, not print I. See, the order is slightly different. 3362, I gave 955. It is printing me 55.9. Okay, so the order will always be different when you try to print some set, but the values are exactly the same. But the very important point about set, just so I want to mention over here, is set will not accept duplicates. Okay, set will not accept duplicates. That means if you give 55 again 55, 66 again 66, if you print S, it will give you only one set of 55, 6. Duplicates are automatically removed from set. That is very important, right? Because if you're having a lot of values, okay, so if you're having a, just to give an example, I'm giving a list is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, okay, and 5, and 1, 2, okay, and 100 again 100, okay, a lot of this. So if I ask you, like, this is a list, okay, now just give me unique values of this list. Okay, so I'm printing, they're like duplicates. I'm just giving example. Let's say they're like 1 lakh numbers, total of 1 lakh numbers, and there are so many duplicates. Okay, I'm saying, hey, I don't want duplicate, I just want unique numbers of it, give me. You can write a loop function. Okay, a simple idea is you can create a variable, okay, and you can iterate through each of this value, put each of value into this, and once again when you're looping, you can check whether the value is already present in this. If it is present, don't add into this. So like that you can obviously think and write, and I also recommend you to do that initial stages so that you will have more Pythonic thinking. But just to give you a trick over here, as you said, set will not accept the duplicates. What you can do is you can simply convert this list to set so that it will automatically remove all the duplicates. How you can do that? It is very simple. So you can, this is S, right? So for example, if I take list as L, just to be clear, L is for list, right? So what you can just do set, okay, set is a keyword, set set of L. That's it. Okay, when you do set of L, as you can see, it has removed all the duplicates and it has given you only the unique values of set 1 2 3 4 5 10. Okay, so that's the importance of set. The only thing you need to understand about the set is it is not ordered and it will not allow duplicates. Okay, and next coming to frozen set. Okay, frozen set is also almost equal to the set, but you cannot, but the point is frozen set you can, it is immutable. Okay, once you create some value, right, once you create some value, you cannot change that. Okay, for example, here you can think how it's different from set. Okay, for example, if you see S equal to 33, okay, these are the values. Now I can do something called as S dot add of 100. Okay, now if I print S, you are getting 100 also, right? This is still set. Okay, I did not go to frozen set. I'm just saying S, I declared in curly braces, so this is a set obviously. Now S dot add, I'm doing add. Why I'm doing add? Because add is a function available in class set. Then, as I said, the moment we are defining this, this is belong to a class called as set, and this is an object under that set. Now, what all this set class, what all functions it is having, like add, delete, etc., a specific set of functions which we are going to see, all those are applicable to this object. Okay. Now, this add may not be available for list. If you do list dot add, it will not work. For example, if I say, see, add 10, I do. See, list does not have attribute called as add. This is important. For each class, there are specific functions which we are going to see. You can use only those. Okay. So for list, there might be something called as append. Append works. Okay, we will see that. But at this moment, just try to understand. If there is a set, you can add the values. Okay, that means set is mutable. You can change it. So this is done. But if you define the same as for the same, if you convert this set into frozen set, okay, that means what? FORZN frozen set of S. Okay, let me put it as F. Okay, now this F frozen set, inside this frozen set, what I am putting S. This is I'm putting here. So now this will become frozen set. Now if I print F, okay, frozen set. Now if I try to add F some 100, it will say frozen set does not have an attribute. That means this is frozen. It becomes immutable. You cannot change this. So set is all the properties, everything is same. Set and frozen set is exactly the same. But the only difference is set is mutable. You can change it. As you can see, S dot add, you are able to add. But frozen set is immutable. That's the reason it's called frozen. It is frozen and it is fixed. You cannot add. If you try to add, it is giving error. Okay, so apart from that, everything remains same. So that is regarding the set and frozen set. Last thing is dictionary. I just complete dictionary and I will conclude. Okay, so dictionary is just like it will have key value pairs. Okay, so dictionary is one of the very important data type. I would say the most important from all the data types. But just to give you how to define dictionaries, D is same curly braces. Okay, but same curly braces, but you need to give key value. That means you should say, okay, class 1 is for apple, 2 is for mango, like that. Okay, and you need to define D. Okay, so you key and value pairs combination is called dict. Okay, so you need to give key colon value. Okay, this 1 is key, its corresponding value is apple. 2 is key, its corresponding value is mango. Okay, so these are called key value pair. This is a key value pair, this is a key value pair. A dictionary is nothing but a combination of lot of key value pairs. Okay, guys, did you follow today's class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so before closing, I just have one question. Okay, let's see if you say that. So as you say, dictionary is also having this curly braces, set is also having this curly braces, right? So you should get a question. If I just say this, you can create empty also, right? So see, when I'm saying L equal to 1 2 3, that is fine. But if you don't want to give any values, you can create empty list also. Even though this is list, this is also list, but it's an empty list. Okay. This is also tuple, but this is an empty tuple like that. But the point here is we are using the same curly braces for list and set and dictionary. This is also set for set also, as you can see, curly braces we are using for dictionary also. We are using the same curly braces. But the question is, if I don't give anything, empty curly braces, what it will consider? Will it consider as a set or will it consider as a dictionary?
Set.
Okay. Any answers? Okay.
Set.
You understood the question, right? I think everybody understood the question.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So because we are doing the same symbol, if I put key value pair, obviously you can understand, yeah, this is dict. Without key value pair, this is set. But if I don't give anything, it can be dictionary or set. But how what does Python will consider this? Set or dictionary?
Set.
Okay,
sir.
it is dict. Okay, so the empty curly braces will always be considered as a dict. Okay, fine. So that's a small concept.
Once check this S is equal to flower bracket comma.
Flower bracket comma. Here, inside here.
Yes, sir.
No, you need to give some number, right? Where comma you want? Inside the flower brackets?
For tuple we have to, okay, sir.
Right. For tuple you have. For tuple
Yes,
there
sir.
is a concept that I will tell you.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah. For empty braces is considered as a dict. Okay. Fine. So I hope you understood today class. So just to summarize, so these are the 14. So if at all, I strongly recommend to practice, as I said, because if you don't practice, right, so everything goes into vain. Okay, no matter how much we discuss. So at least if time is not permitting, so just at least spend like half an hour or 40 minutes every day just to practice this. This small concept will not take much time to practice. So yeah. So as I said, like you should be comfortable, very comfortable with string, range, list, dictionary. Okay, these four, if you want to pick four, so these four will be extremely important. And tomorrow class we will start with typecasting, a small concept, typecasting, and then we are going to see each of these data types in detail. Okay, so once we complete a discussion about these data types, right, so then I think we are in a good position to understand next concepts. Okay, fine. So any questions or are we good? Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's all. Nicola, you want to say something?
No, yeah, we are good, sir. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's all for today. Chalo, let's meet tomorrow. Thanks. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you.